We're just waiting on people now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell everybody else this when they get here, but Margaret is not going to be able to be here today. She's having a flare-up of her fibromyalgia,
Okay.
which really sucks, but
Well, yeah.
yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
pleasant
I didn't
thing.
mean like.
No. Yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, who is it? Hey, Sean, what's going on?
Not much other going.
Pretty good. I was just telling Tom that Margaret is not going to be here today.
Okay.
She is feeling rather bad. But we're here, and as far as I know, Jordan and Kristen will be here. So yeah.
And is it her illness or whatever that's messing her up, or just sick?
Yeah, I think so. It's been going on for part of this week from the sound of it. She had been doing good for a long while, like hadn't had any big flare-ups, but I guess, that's the thing about chronic diseases. They're chronic.
Yep.
Indeed. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh, how's base?
You know, same old shit. But I'm on vacation now, so
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. Well,
Hmm.
when I left, I was supposed to be working on fuel tank, but it had some major issues, so it's gonna be held up. It'll probably be waiting for me when I get there. Should be fine.
Eh.
They went around having people sign whether they're volunteering to take the vaccine or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Didn't get one, just sign the paper.
Okay.
They're wanting to know who's volunteering. You don't have to take it, right?
Right.
And then prioritize and all that stuff. Most everybody that I know is too scared to take it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Are they? Should they just are afraid of needles or?
No, they're afraid they're going to grow a third leg. That's what, third arm or whatever.
Now you see, a third leg is always a hindrance, but like a third arm, I think most people will be like, "Oh, okay." You could use a third arm, but a third leg, you need a fourth to like balance things out.
It's true.
I might get in trouble because I keep making fun of them. Because basically, I'm like, guys, okay, you might be a little scared, but if you want things to start to return to normal, this is a step you got to take. So grow a pair of balls and fucking go get it.
You should go with them, but then get yours first and have like Alka-Seltzer or something that will foam, and just start like spewing it at them after you get it.
That's mean.
Yeah, well, I'm just hope like I don't have a bad reaction, because then they'll be like, see, it's unlikely, but it's like that'd be just great. It'd be really bad.
I mean, you probably won't have a bad reaction. Hey.
I mean,
Hello.
pretty low risk.
How y'all doing?
Hey, good. Here we go. Good.
Awesome. All right. Well, Margaret's not going to be with us this week. She's feeling under the weather, having a flare up. So
Yeah.
we are it. In that case, is everyone ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. When we last left off, the party, having settled some of their business in Vasselheim and then done a little jump over to Singorn and over the mountains. Had made their way into the Dreamseep marshland, a vast expanse of rotting and very wet organic matter and mud and who knows what else in between two ranges of mountains.
I mean,
in
I don't
this
talk
long
about
valley.
your home.
Hey, now, organic rotting matter can be great. It's great fertilizer. But making their way into the valley of the Dreamseep marshland, they had quickly made their way to. You had quickly made your way to Brunbog, the only real vestige of civilization anywhere in the whole marsh. Upon getting there, you find a smallish village of about maybe 800 people. Most of the buildings here are up on stilts, 4 or 5 feet in the air, both for the moisture that comes through, as well as you assume maybe for keeping rats out, as you've seen quite a few different varieties and breeds as you've been traveling through. The main road that goes through the center of the village is actually a boardwalk with small ramps that go down into the muddy side streets and trails that go off into the woods around. In fact, the few carts that you see going up and down this wide boardwalk and the muddy trails all have larger than usual wheels on the sides of them and are higher up, you suppose, to try to keep them out of water or mud. And they're mostly being pulled by these massive ox-looking things with these huge horns that come out and around in front of their heads. But coming through to the center of the small town here, you find kind of a village square, except for that there's this Stonehenge-looking something in the middle with these large plinths of granite rock rising out of the earth in a rough circle. And that is where we are. What would y'all like to do?
Welcome to Brunberg.
Where did you say those that circle of plinths, the rocks were in?
Oh,
Just in front of us.
yeah. It seems that as you come to the center of town, like the town square, as you might say,
Yeah.
they're there in the as if the village had kind of been built around this structure.
You guys want to go check that out? See the town square?
Sure.
Yeah, I can. I mean, this is an old temple to the sun god. But
Oh.
I think
yeah, there's-
I agree. We should go pay our respects, and I will lead us that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do anything like really touristy, but I mean, it seems like an attraction.
No, we should go pay our respects to the sun god. It is good that you take such an active interest. I have some pamphlets. Later, maybe we can discuss, but let's go see.
Indeed. So,
All right.
walking over closer to this ruined temple, now that you know what it is, it looks like it's maybe just even the stone. What's the word I'm looking for? the stone foundations of an ancient temple with some columns and stuff that seem to be knocked over in the midst of it, with, like I said, just these large pieces of stone coming out up in a circle, slightly angling in. Coming nearer, you see that near the middle there's kind of a makeshift altar set up, and as you step into the circle, you see there's a small halfling there that she, as you are stepping in, she is standing up from in front of the altar, puts a hand over her heart and then to her lips and then up to the sky, and then turns around, kind of sees you, stops for a second, and continues out of the circle.
Okay, it's good to see you too, fellow worshiper.
You can see on the altar that there's a little bit of, even in this, there's a constant slight drizzle of rain here, just kind of misting everything since you've been here. You haven't seen the sun actually in the maybe day or so since you've been in the marsh. But on the top of the altar, there's a small bowl with a little bit of incense stick stuck in that seems to be smoldering away from where this halfling just was.
So this is the temple. Obviously, it has seen better days. But it is interesting to know that it predates the town. As the joke goes, it was like this when I got here.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
So, when you use this altar, do you get any superpowers from your god? Or, like, why? Why? I don't get
It's
it.
actually it's very strange to me a little bit, because I think possibly maybe they don't worship right, because I always assume that the sun god needs the hearts. The blood of the heart fuels the sun, and maybe that's why there's not so much sun to be seen here. But as for superpowers, not especially that I am aware of.
So it's not sunny because there's not enough blood on the altar.
I mean, it's a theory. I don't. I thought you guys go around asking questions of your god. I don't.
Yeah,
He's a lot,
I
a
asked
lot bigger than I am.
Well-
What does he? What does he care what I have to say? This is still. Who am I in the eyes of the sun?
Yeah, a little speck. I got you. So
Dragon.
yeah, I guess we need to find what do we need? We need some the news of the area about this black dragon.
Yeah.
I think I have a person we could look into. They might still be at the trading post is where I met them. They seemed to be well informed when I was here. They taught me everything I know about civilization, coming from deeper in the marsh. What was that laugh?
Thought you nothing.
Nothing.
But yeah, I mean, they'd be as good a person to ask as any. They are pretty involved in a lot of comings and goings and the movings and the shakings.
All right, let's point us in the direction of that trading post.
all right.
I-
I do that.
I guess do they live there or?
Probably.
So, Zippel quickly points in a direction. You're not quite sure what direction. It's a little bit hard for most of you to even keep track of which direction is which without seeing the sun. Crom, your direction sense is probably the best, so you have an idea that he's pointing to the north, along kind of the main avenue boardwalk that goes through the middle of this town. And so stepping up back onto the boardwalk from the ruined temple area, you walk maybe a couple hundred feet before you come in front of what's probably the largest structure outside of the ruined temple within this village. A 3-story ramshackle looking building that looks like it was probably built in several different stages over several different decades out of several different types of wood and other materials. It leans slightly outward into the street on its highest level, and you're not sure how it doesn't fall over. But out front, there is a sign that's gently swaying in the misty breeze out here, that just has a picture painted on it that looks like some kind of beast that's mostly made of teeth and tentacles. It's very strange. Nothing's written on the sign. But this is the trading post that Zippel has been leading you to.
Last time, if I remember, they were in a corner in the common eating area, but you know, they are sort of they are a great admirer of civilization. So we should probably be on our best behavior. And I lead them in.
Okay. Stepping into the common area of this trading post, it's a lot like many of the bars, taverns, inns that you've been to over your time in Exandria. It's a little bit larger, and there are quite a few people inside, even for this being probably around midday. Both at the long bar that runs across the back of the room, as well as at different tables. Once again, much like the structure outside, it doesn't seem like there's a chair in this place that matches another chair, or a table that matches another table. And a lot of them seem like there's several of the tables that look like they're just cleaned up stumps of large trees. There's all manner of folks in here. Most of the people you see are, well, a good majority of them seem to be human, although you see several half-elves, odd smattering of halflings. There's a couple dwarves, including one behind the bar, a few gnomes even. And you do see even a couple other lizard folk over in a far left corner of the room, kind of shadowed, talking to each other. A slightly different coloration than Zippel. Rather than that green color, these are more almost a light blue on their scales.
Don't talk to them, they are show-offs.
It happens. Zippel, you don't immediately see your friend here, actually. Although, you know what? Roll a perception check to see if you do.
I got a 24.
Okay. So, as you walk in, you don't see your friend so much as you catch a whiff, which is fairly strong, of the aroma of this establishment. Strong in several different ways. There's a little bit of this, what you can only describe as cold and slightly slimy, that you recognize as the welcoming smell of your friend, Brog.
Brog, where are you?
Was it?
You don't hear anything immediately, as there is kind of a din in this place. Lots of different clattering of cups and plates and just crowd noise, as there's maybe almost 100 people in here.
I'll go up to the bartender and ask if Brog's in.
All right. Going up to the barkeep, you see a dwarf who seems to have stark white hair and pink eyes, extremely pale skin. And as you walk up, his white beard kind of swinging, braided, as he's trying to serve people. He sees you and says, "Aye, and what can I do for you?"
Is Brog? Is Brog in?
Oh yeah, the frog.
No, the lawyer.
Yeah, but he's a frog. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you would prefer that term. But
Well, that's what I call him. He's over there. He points over to his left, your right, as you walked in a very far corner, just a little bit off from the corner. There's it looks like just like a two-top, small little table with these stools at it, and you see a figure sitting there, writing furiously, hunched over. You can't quite see much about them.
Who are you? I don't remember you.
I
And
took
I-
over management just a while back. The name's Kerwin,
Oh.
and I run this place,
The blessings of the sun god upon you, Kerwin.
and upon you.
Good to see another follower of the sun god. These
Well-
are my traveling companions. They are Wimbloods, and they will require lodgings.
Indeed, we have some of that. And any drinks around?
Yeah, you guys want a round of
Yeah.
All right. He quickly turns to this. Now you see as you've come up, as it's kind of smoky and hazy in here. But as you come up to the bar, there's two huge casks on their sides behind the bar, probably 6 feet in diameter, each of them, with a tap stuck in near the bottom. And he walks over to one, and with several large mugs all kind of on his arm through the handles, just kind of opens it and fills them all at once and then closes it, brings them over to you. It's not much, but it'll get it done.
Thank you.
That'll be a silver.
I pay him.
Okay. At this point, Roland, begging off, not feeling well, goes up to the rooms that you will rent. We're gonna say.
Roland, do you want us to hold the bag while you're gone?
The whole bag of holding.
Yeah.
And nodding yes, kind of passing it to you. He kind of runs in the back. Definitely not feeling well. It might be something that he accidentally swallowed flying through the marsh there.
Mhm.
In any case, now having these mugs of strong red ale, it seems. Now getting a sniff of it. What are y'all doing?
Do we want to imbibe first, or do we want to go see about Brog?
I mean, we could sit here and he pointed us in the direction of Brog, right?
He did, yeah, in the kind of another back corner. Like I said, hunched over, seems to be furiously writing on something. Oh, did we lose Sean?
It looks like it.
I think we lost Sean.
Was he even ever here?
Oh, there
There
he
you
is.
go.
Hey,
Howdy. I was closing tabs and clicked the
happens.
wrong one.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we could sit here and finish our drinks and see what other sort of interesting people we meet, or we could go ahead and talk to Brog.
Yeah, do you want backup on this, or you want to talk to him solo?
No, I mean, I think we should all be there. He likes news of the greater world, and he likes meeting people, collecting stories, and you would probably have more pertinent questions to ask about dragons and the like than I might.
What is he? What's his race?
You can't quite
He's
see
a
right
lawyer.
now. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, and as Zippel says, he's a lawyer.
Were you
Uh,
asking the DM or were you asking me?
you.
Brog is a bullywug.
Oh.
He was one of the first people I met when I came out of the swamp.
Oh,
To
awesome.
civilization.
Nice.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, don't get to see those often.
Yeah.
I mean, cool.
All
He
right.
made me this.
What? What is it?
Oh, I pull out a form that's like signed in triplicate and waxed, and it's a do not revive form.
Yeah.
He said it was really important to have such things documented if I go traveling in the world.
Oh yeah.
Because, it's against my religion to be revived.
Oh.
So if we happen upon a revivify spell, you don't want us to use it.
No, and that's why he made me deform, because he said people will try to bring you back to life and stuff. And he said, and he said it was a good price to do it. And so I did it, and he put it 3 times, and it was really nice.
And so can we eat you though?
I would expect you to eat me, actually. I'm
Okay.
glad you brought that up, because, again, it is part of my religion. And I would do the same to you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually down here at the bottom, it's a clause in the do not revivify form. Do not revivify and use body for productive reasons. Yeah.
Was that some kind of lizard joke? You said claws.
Wow.
Oh.
Brock taught me that one too. He is a chinwag. No, but he is an interesting bullywug. He has a wide range of interests.
All right.
Oh, well, let's hop over there and say hello.
Was that the bullywug joke?
It was.
So hopping over through the
Don't
crowd.
use that one.
So moving through the crowd, which is fairly close pressed, but you can find your way kind of weaving in and out easy enough. You come to this kind of shadowy figure hunched over that doesn't seem to notice you've even walked up, with Zippo leading, I'm guessing. But it's just also it seems as you come closer, you can see kind of the profile of some frog-like features, these slightly webbed hands, and parchment in front of them, just writing away, every once in a while putting a finger up to the mouth and then keep continuing writing.
Hello, Prague.
With a start, the creature kind of straightens up, and as he does, you can see that has a nice white shirt on with the sleeves halfway rolled up, with a waistcoat, and some half breeches, bare feet, of course, with these webbed feet, and just spectacles, fairly thick, probably a good half-inch thick on the end of his nose. And he looks up and says, "Ah, yes! Oh, my! It's you, Zippo. It's been a while. It's good to see you."
Greetings in the name of the Father, the Son Father, the Sun God, the Dawn.
The Dawn Father, yes. It's nice to hear, and also to you. You've made some friends? Looking at
Out
the
in
rest of you.
the civilized world, yes.
Of the civilized. And where have you been?
Cold. Prague has been very cold. I do not like it.
Indeed.
You didn't tell me about that, Prague.
It's. Why do you think I stay here in the Dream Suite? It's quite a bit warmer here. You have to say.
But this is Surtis, and this is Jump, and this is Kram, and this is Roland has gone upstairs, and this is the Metal Child.
And as he kind of looks around, he kind of blinks a few times at the automaton as you introduce them as the Metal Child. They're just kind of standing calmly in the back of all of you, hands at their side, just taking in everything, looking around, kind of, just seeing what there is to see. In any case, please pull up a chair if you can find one. What can I do for you today?
Well, we hear you like to share and receive news of the world.
Oh, indeed. I find a good amount.
Well, this is your lucky day.
Lucky
Yes.
day.
Because boy, do we have stories.
Please tell. What do you have?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah. What do you?
Oh, we could tell them about, political intrigue and far off lands and giant worms.
Oh yeah, the giant worm was a good one.
It's true. There's been more than one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we tell him about that.
Yeah, so I guess I ramble off some. I regale him with the tale of one of our misadventures in the Underdark or
Okay.
something.
Yeah. You know, and then at the end of it, he says, "You don't say." That's, and then you just walked out of there with a blue dragon.
Yep.
Yep.
That's insane. That's.
Or he walked out with us, or we walked out with him, something like that.
I mean, can I meet? Is he with you now? Can I meet him?
No.
I don't think so.
He does something.
Yeah, he's off somewhere.
Oh well.
You know, blue dragons.
I mean, I know of them. I know that they're fairly dangerous, like most dragons, even the good ones, as he kind of puts up air quotes.
So that brings us to what we need here today. We need a black dragon scale.
As you say this, he's kind of nodding along, and then kind of stops and looks over at Zippel and says, kind of half whispers, "You haven't you're not trying to bring them to the terror, are you?"
Yes, we are here for you, sir. It is of the utmost importance, Brog.
I mean, it's been fairly how do you say active lately, for the last few years here, killing a lot of people. I mean, even no offense to all of you, but I imagine it might be even beyond you. Are you sure you want to try for something like this?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it's a matter of being sure or not. I think it is something we must do either way.
Well,
We're working our way up to that ancient red dragon. So
Well,
baby steps.
and also the as dangerous as this terror may be, the reason behind it is to prevent something far more terrible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's
well,
it.
I'll take your word for it. You seem to be well traveled enough, and you're coming into some interesting situations, it seems. But well, I feel the need to warn all of you. Then, it's a fairly dangerous creature. There's many stories of it. It always seems to come at night. It doesn't seem to like the light. What else do I know about it? Most stories of it seem to come from the northern part of the marshland. The local myth says that there's some type of limestone cave in that part near where the valley reaches the mountains. A huge tree grows in front of the cave, and supposedly that's where it lives. Now, I've never been up there, and I'm not going to go with you. It's a rough journey, and there's a lot of those who wouldn't even be able to make it. It's hard to find your way through the marshlands here. I don't know if Zippel has told you anything about this, but it's not the easiest. I mean, by all accounts, this thing can change size and shape. It's incredibly fast, but also often incredibly huge, and well, a lot of the more reasonable stories that come out are just mostly acid-melted skeletons in the midst of the forest, really. I'm not sure what else you want from me.
I mean, that sounds.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the only thing that can change size and shape.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good to hear,
Yeah.
I suppose. One of you then.
I've been known to be a little bit of a shapeshifter from time to time.
Just that's good to hear. Just be careful. This one, pointing to Zippel, he doesn't always. Ooh, how do you say? Think the way most people might. So, please take care of him.
What?
Okay, yeah, so what kind of creatures might we come across that we need to look out for? Anything to like watch where we step or
Oh well. Um,
Dangers besides the black dragon?
yeah.
How much time do you have?
Lots of dangerous things in the swamp.
Lots of undead.
Oh.
It is a big problem.
Indeed. It's most things here. If they die, come back. We have some trouble with our graveyards. In fact, we've had to start, well, cremating most people here, which is fine. I mean, it goes with the local religion, as it were, burning the dead. But otherwise, they come back and try to eat you. It's a real
It
problem.
is unnatural.
It is. Thank you.
It is an insult. It flies in the face of the sun god.
But it's not just people either. It's
No,
animals,
it's-
insects, trees, even. You haven't seen anything until you've seen an undead tree try to strangle someone.
Well, I mean, I've got various. I know my way around dead things.
Alright.
There are also mushrooms.
Oh yes, the mushrooms. Has he told you about
Yeah,
this then?
No, I had thought it best not to.
Well, I mean, it's important. Are all of you familiar with what a healing potion is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
I think we are.
are you familiar with the ingredients in a superior healing potion?
I don't know. I might be.
Roll an intelligence check real quick.
Yes,
11.
11. Okay. I mean, you know that there's natural ingredients that go in, but you can't really remember. But as you kind of have this furrowed brow look on your face,
Yeah.
as you're
Not off the
thinking
top of my head,
Yeah.
but
that's
not really.
Brog kind of you see he kind of chuckles, and as he does, the kind of pouch beneath his chin kind of inflates a little bit. And then he says, "Well, let me tell you, one of the main things in a superior healing potion is the Queen's Cap mushroom, which I'll have you know is mostly extinct in most places around Exandria, except here in the Dream Sleep Swamp. There's many of them here. It's hard to get here, of course, but it's the main commodity for trading here."
And some of the mushroom hunters can get kind of possessive of pieces of the swamp they think are theirs.
Well, when you can get
To harvest.
when you can get several hundred gold for every mushroom, it's important. Of course, you got to get them out of the swamp first. But at the same time, you can get healing potions here for, I mean, basically wholesale from what your point of perspective.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, some superior healing potions.
Yeah. Which way do we go for those?
Well, I mean, there's a couple places in town. I suggest Maddox Medical Market. It's a good place to start. She's one of the major traders here in Brunbog. But if you're going to be going out in search of a fairly dangerous black dragon, I suggest you might want to hire a guide.
Are you offering?
Are you?
Oh no! I rarely even leave this building. Let me tell you, it's hard to keep the shirts white and correctly starched out there in the mist. But he kind of looks around for a second, one way and then the other, and then his kind of large bulbous eyes lock in, and he points up towards the bar. And he says, "Up there, ask for Harper. She's going to be the one you want. She's a fairly good hunter and a competent guide." And as he points, you kind of get the idea that he's pointing at this small figure. It looks like she's probably a gnome with this blue hair brought back into a ponytail. And kind of leather pauldrons on either shoulder. That seems to be at the bar with a mug of ale or something, and reading a book.
Sweet. Do you want to, since she's of your people, do you want to go talk to her?
You're just all about pointing that out today.
Shut up.
Well, that's just racist.
Yeah.
So, Gnomish isn't a language that y'all might have in common? Y'all are just...
yeah. Go talk to her.
Don't all gnomes know each other? What the heck?
Yeah,
I asked you now.
She's a cousin, right?
I doubt it.
All
All right.
yeah. So I'll walk over there
Okay.
and wait. What did we say her name was? Harper.
Harper.
I'll walk up and I'll say
Oh, God.
It is always best to greet them in the name of the sun god.
It is a ways off. Is everybody following him over?
I mean, you guys can come along.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
And as you walk off, Brog says, "Good luck," and
Oh, yeah.
goes back to writing.
Yeah. Thanks for your help. I walk over there and kind of clear my throat. Miss Harper, I presume.
As you say this, the gnome sitting at the bar, who, as you come up, you can see has this deep brown skin with these coppery kind of undertones. Her hair, like I said, blue and pulled back. And even her eyebrows, of course, blue. Kind of turns towards you and says, "Aye, that's me. What can I do for you?"
Should I get tongue tied? No. I've heard you may be the one to talk to about the guide through this swamp.
Well now, I suppose I could help you. Yeah? Where are you looking to go? It's kind of it's a big swamp out there.
Is this
Yeah.
What was that?
No, it's just. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Is this someone that I recognize, or
No, it isn't actually. You recognize a few faces in the crowd here, just in passing, or a few of them you've done business with when you were here in Bronbug. But this one you don't recognize. And looking at her a little more closely, like some of her gear looks very nice. There's a very nice bow. Looks like it's made of horn across her back, a short bow. Two different short swords at her side. Of course, being a gnome, they're long daggers, pretty much to most people. But then some of her other clothing seems to be pieced together from animal hides that have been roughly stitched together and things like that. It looks like she comes into town sometimes, but mainly it's out in the wilderness. And so
Oh yeah. So
she asks, "What do you need? What'll it be for?"
well, we need to get to the
Just tell her.
base of the mountain. We're
We're
dragon.
hunting a dragon.
You're hunting a dragon.
Are you in? Yes.
Well, it depends on the dragon.
Oh, there's more than one?
there is only one dragon that is concerned in the Dream Seep, and you'll know that.
Well, yes, but there's been others. For instance, if we head north out of the Dream Seep, we'll end up in the Ashen Gorge, and there used to be a dragon there. Some say there still is.
What color?
Well, he was very large, and he was red.
Oh.
We are after Ysar.
Ah, the Midnight Terror it is then. Well, I could help you maybe find it. I'm not gonna fight it for you, though.
Oh.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not afraid of a fight. I'd just rather not. I'd rather not have me flesh melted from me bones. You understand?
So when we get there, you're just gonna like wait outside?
That's the idea.
Okay.
I personally do not understand.
You don't understand dragons, or
I do not understand your hesitance.
well, I like the way I look, and I don't want to be horribly deformed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way
You have to die of something, you know.
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean I have to choose it in the short term.
Maybe we could find another guide.
That's up to you.
you know, one with more of like a death wishy kind of attitude.
Like I said, I'll find it for you.
Okay.
It's up to you to deal with it. Are you looking to kill the thing?
I mean, we don't have to. I mean, isn't it causing problems though?
Well, it's a dragon. They're always causing problems no matter what, aren't they?
I mean, honestly, like at the very least, we just need a scale. But
It would be fun to kill it.
we're honestly, we're probably gonna end up trying to kill it.
I mean, that's all up to you, but there are some... If you're sneaky enough, or you know someone who is fairly sneaky, you could find a way to just get a scale. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to do it, but...
Oh well, I mean,
I want to try to kill it or die trying.
I think Crom is itching for a fight.
You know what? That's fine. As long as I get paid before you go into the hole.
Okay. Take my monies.
We don't even know what they're going to charge. Why do we say okay again?
Because Crom doesn't barter. Good.
Put your money away, Crom. What might your fee be?
Well,
Become a pirate.
Arg!
what might your fee be, matey? Well, I'd have to say, for something like this, even without going in, it's going to be fairly dangerous, and it is quite a long trek to where it's rumored to be. I'd have to say, 400 gold.
Yar, that's a mighty steep price.
Aye, well, you're hunting a dragon that can spit acid 80 feet.
Well, she's got us there.
I want this many gold.
I don't know, 400 gold. That's really, that's one
I
of the
think
more
we-
expensive things
yeah,
we've
we
ever.
have a collection in the bag or something.
Yeah,
But I have some of these.
I don't know. It just seems like it's a lot to spend on
Hey, do that thing.
just a
Do
guy.
that thing where you tell him you'll pay less. Do it.
Oh, you're talking about haggling.
Do it. Put a spell on her.
Yeah.
What if we offer them a share of anything we get out of the dragon horde? Maybe that would help.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could offer a.
And she's still standing there.
She is still just sitting here at the bar with you kind of gathered around her.
Well, yeah. 400 gold. We're gonna have to discuss this. Thank you for your time. We'll be in touch.
Well, don't give me hold on a sec. I happen to be.
Always be prepared to walk away.
I'm out of work at the moment. I might be able to do it for less. Or should you have something to barter? We could do that, maybe.
What are you looking for?
Oh. I don't know. Rightfully, I don't know what you might have.
I have some very helpful pamphlets on this sun god.
I'm already a follower. That doesn't really help. Perhaps, I don't know, jewels?
Oh, I think we have jewels.
Yeah, we might have some valuables somewhere.
Also, now that you mention it, what is that? And she points to the metal child who is kind of standing between Chomp and Zipple.
That is not a part of this conversation.
I mean, I'm not saying as part of payment. I'm just seems to be in I've never seen one of those. What is it?
That is the metal child.
Indeed, has it a name?
The metal child.
Well, that's not very original, is it? I'm gonna call you Fred.
No, you will not. Metal child, don't listen to her.
Did we ever name it?
I think it had a name.
Or we discovered a name, or
There was never a name that you discovered the name of its creator, but not of it or them.
like Andy is written on the bottom of his foot.
And basically, he wrote in Zemnian at some point that its creator was Halas Ludogren, but it didn't have a name. And you all have been just referring to it as the Metal Child, as Zipple has been more and more using the term. And as you all are talking about this right now, the automaton has been just looking back and forth as people are talking, as it knows now that it's being talked about. So, but Harper at that point says, it doesn't matter. You can do what you want. No judgment here. How about, what the heck, I'm bored. 150 gold.
Whoa. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think we.
Okay. Are we agreed?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you? She motions over at Cirthus. Are you still there, Sean?
I'm here.
Okay, cool.
I am curious what we get out of that 150 gold.
Well, I find the black dragon for you.
I thought we knew where it was.
Well, there's stories of where it might be. Good luck finding it. How often have you tried to traverse through a swamp?
Yeah, it seems like with no sun to guide by, it seems like it might be pretty easy to get lost out there.
Yeah. I'm usually pretty good with that, but it would be nice to have another set of eyes. I've got little.
It has been a while since I walked through the marsh.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do this.
I've got gold that I can put in. I don't really buy much.
All right.
But you don't get it all now.
What?
That's right. That's fair. That's fair. That's. I'd say half now, and
Yeah,
half again directly before you go to kill the thing.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to have to wait until you're done, because you might not, and it's hard to get money off of a dead body when there's a black dragon standing over it.
At the same time, we don't like the idea of maybe coming out in a hurry and finding that you've scampered off.
Oh,
So-
well, I'm not gonna. I can provide references.
Half now, a quarter when we get there, and we will leave the other quarter here with Brog for you to get when we come back.
Brog. She kind of seems to deflate as you say the name and just says, "That. All right, fine. That's fair. I don't especially like the guy, but
Whoa. Details.
I don't know. We went on a few dates at one point.
Juicy.
It didn't work out. In any case, just physically, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like the parts literally don't line up. In any case,
In plexus.
Yeah. Cool.
but I suppose that's fair. All right. Well, it's already mid-afternoon today. I don't imagine we're going to go out now. But first light tomorrow. Would you be all right with that?
Yeah. Woohoo.
It sounds right then. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get back to my novel. It's pretty good.
What is it?
You look, as she shows you the back, it looks like the cover of a romance novel. With it looks like a half-orc male with some type of female on it, and it says Tusk Love on the top.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's good.
Cool.
If I finish it before we start, I can lend it to you.
I can yes, I can read. That's
Sounds
fine.
good. I'm glad to hear.
Okay, bye.
In any case, she, buddy, adieu, and she goes back to reading. The rest of all of you are now left. Well, what would you like to do for the rest of? It's about mid-afternoon, and you have the sprawling metropolis of Bronbog in front of you. All 800 people.
We need to go to the medical market for healing potions.
Yes, you were told Maddox Medical Market was the name of this place.
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's find that.
When we get back, I want to talk to Brog again.
Okay. As you have at this point, you have hired rooms for the night. Roland has gone up to the rooms. Altogether, it doesn't cost much here to stay. It's not much more than a round of drinks. Probably 5 silver, really, for a few rooms. But heading out back into the street or boardwalk, as it were, in front here, you're not quite sure where to go to find this. You could either ask around, make an investigation check, or just walk around, see what you see if you want.
Yeah.
I'll roll. I'm bad at it, but I'm gonna roll. Makes sense. Oh, yeah. I got nat 20 minus 1, so
19. All right. Okay. So looking around, there's quite a few shops here and things like that. While Maddox Medical Market was the one that was recommended to you, there are several others. There's the Toadstool Factory. There's just Mushrooms Are Us at one point along the boardwalk. It takes a few minutes of walking back down towards the center of town, and then even past the center of town, a little bit south of the center of town, before you, asking around a bit, you're able to find out where Maddox Medical Market is. Coming up to it, you find a nice, warm-looking storefront with glass panes in front and a nice little partial glass door. Walking in, let me find my notes. There it is. You see a well-ordered store with shelves and shelves of different variations of mushrooms, of potions in jars, of hanging herbs, each in their place, each labeled with a price on it. And behind a small desk at about halfway through the room, you see a halfling with fairly pale skin, as not all, but quite a few of the lighter-skinned folk in this town have been, having never seen much of the sun, with blonde hair that seems to have some gray at the roots. And she looks up as you come in and says, "Yes, how can I be helping all of you? Would you like some mushrooms by any chance?"
But yeah, possibly. But first of all,
superior healing potions.
yes,
Well,
we are in need of some potions.
Indeed. Well, we can have those here, of course. We have many different healing potions. Superior healing potions are one of the ones we make best in this place, as we have the mushrooms for it. Now, I can sell you several of them if you'd like. I have many already prepared. It will cost you, however. You look like you're from out of town, yes?
No.
So yes. But also, maybe not you. Look
Greetings
over at
in the name of the sun god. My name is Zepil, born of the noble fire, and we have come to your shop in order to further the wishes of the sun god. And you have a chance here to help in this.
And blessings of the Dawnfather be upon you. But I am a businesswoman, and I have to be paid. So, let me tell you what I can do for you. I can sell you a superior health potion for 1,000 gold.
Old woman, would business not be better if the dragon was gone?
Yes, but this is a superior health potion. It takes quite a bit of materials to make one. I can tell you that in the rest of the world outside of Braunbag or the marsh here, you would be paying twice that amount.
I don't even want to pay once that amount.
And it will, if those of you who know that we'll give you 8d4 plus 8 healing.
Oh. Okay. Does somebody want to?
Well, I may be able to bargain if you would do something for me. I'm just saying, there is things that I need. There are.
Stop you right there.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
there are elements that go into making these things that I need, and you look like you're going to, as you might be needing a health potion. You might perhaps be in a situation where you might be able to find some of these things.
Okay.
Mhm.
How much of a discount?
I'll tell you what. If you can find what I'm looking for, I will give you 2 superior health potions.
Okay, what you looking for?
I need the spleen of a troll.
Oh. Huh.
Have you?
Okay.
Have any of you ever heard of? Have any of you ever heard about trolls at all?
Yeah, I think we've
Yeah.
ran across one before.
Really? Did you manage to kill it?
It's hazy.
Didn't we see a
There was.
troll and kobolds fighting each other? And
You did.
Yeah.
As well as, if you remember, while you were in Singorn the first time, in the black market underneath the city, the person in charge of that black market was a troll.
no.
So you've seen trolls a couple times.
What kind of troll are we talking about here?
I mean, any troll. I just need the spleen. You see, do you know much about them in general? How they live? About their fortitude, as it were?
Very.
Under bridges.
Yes. Okay. So
Like
no
you
is
did?
the answer.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Well,
Sure.
they have some would say regenerative properties to their their bodies, and so I'm wanting the spleen. It creates quite a bit of matter in the body that has to do with blood and things like that, and theoretically I should be able to more quickly create potions using a condensed version of this.
I don't know. I don't know that much about trolls. So, are there trolls nearby in the swamp?
I mean, occasionally. I'm just saying, if you happen across one, you bring me the spleen, or I mean, if you could just bring me several of the internal organs, but specifically the spleen, and I could see my way clear to giving you healing potions. Yes.
But we need them before we go.
Well, we can just go, go troll hunting first.
I mean, it is up to you.
Well, we'll probably need it for when I kill that red dragon later.
Oh yeah, I mean we
So
definitely
we-
have some spear.
Yeah, we can use them then. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like don't get them before the black dragon?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Where?
Do we have any healing potions already?
That's a good question. I think y'all have bought some before.
Yeah, I feel like we've bought some before and have not used them very often.
I don't have any.
Zupil is just like staring at his claws, wondering why people are talking about healing potions.
It's kind of offensive, you guys.
I don't have any.
All right. There might be some in the bag of holding, but I
Yeah.
believe Margaret's list of the bag of holding is actually on paper.
Oh.
And so I need to get that from her at some point and put it into a spreadsheet on Google Drive. Because that would be good.
We'll probably
Yeah,
be
we'll be-
fine. We have a Z-Pill with us.
But also, that's too much. That's too many gold.
It's a lot of gold. Because
So-
you had made quite a bit of platinum and gold during the tournament in the Underdark.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much that's left.
I have some in my. I have 130 platinum.
I mean, I got some platinum.
How many?
Gold.
How many platinum?
I got 42 platinum.
Why do I have so many?
You haven't spent it?
Oh, I didn't buy them.
I mean, because a platinum is 10 gold, so that's more than 1,000 gold.
And I think we also have like a promissory note from a bank.
Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
some- Is that any good? Okay.
I mean, you
What
would need to find a bank that would take it, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, we will keep that in mind because we heard you have competitors. So, yes. Good day, sir.
Well, yeah, we'll be on the lookout for those troll organs.
Yep. Totally.
Please do. And please tell everyone that you may come across to visit me here. My name, of course, is Eberfa Maddock.
Not gonna remember that.
Well, thank you.
I will claim that.
So before we walk out, I hang back and lean over the counter and say that I might be interested in some mushrooms.
Spirit journey?
Yes, a particular species of mushroom.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yes, do you sell any recreational mushrooms?
Oh, indeed. What kind of trip are you looking for?
A happy one?
Interesting. Give me a second. She kind of gets up from her table, goes over to the right-hand wall, looks kind of tapping on her chin for a moment, and then grabs one off the shelf, brings it back, and you see it's this little jar that has these dried mushrooms inside that seem to have this purple and yellow stripe pattern on it, and says, I think these might be right up your alley. It's going to be 50 gold.
Okay.
All right.
Easy peasy. Is that what we're doing tonight?
You do have all.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I just needed. They seem like they knew their fungus. So, and they're dried, so they'll keep for a while. So yeah, I tucked that away in my bag.
All right. One sec here. In the meantime, because you had hung back, what is everybody else doing?
I'm probably outside telling Crom how, like, there's so many untrustworthy mushroom dealers. And,
Yeah.
oh, it's a terrible plague in this swamp. Everybody thinks that they can find a mushroom and that will show them, open up a third eye, and then they start foaming to the mouth, and then they are collapsing in the mud. Disgusting.
Yeah. Chomp, he's into that stuff though. He'll be fine.
Oh, good.
Foaming at the mouth? Yeah. It's a great
Y'all
thing.
don't know what I was hanging back for.
So,
Yes.
Do you guys want to try to find another place that sells healing potions? Because they said that there was some competitors.
I mean, a superior healing potion is going to be expensive, likely, but
The other places and shops that you had passed by, most of them, for the most part, were smaller than this place.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah.
Okay, so
She seemed to be
nobody
dealing more in bulk.
die, or get hurt too bad.
Nobody die. Um, as you all are walking back in the street, just one sec. I gotta look at passive perceptions.
19.
Zipple, yeah, that's what I was looking at. You have the highest passive perception. So, as you all are kind of walking slowly back towards the northern end of town into the what you had found out when you went inside the trading post was that it was called the Kraken, which is why the sign had just teeth and tentacles on it. As you're heading back towards the Kraken, you, out of the corner of your eye, catch something you've never seen before, and kind of, in some places in the village, there aren't, along the boardwalk, there aren't buildings right there. There's just open space into the mist and further into the forest that you can sometimes see a little bit more of, sometimes less of. And as you're walking by this one open space to your left, you see a small path you hadn't ever noticed before. And near the end of that path, kind of mostly obscured in mist, you see a small hut with just a little bit of flickering, kind of guttering candlelight coming from the window. And it strikes you as strange because you thought you had known everywhere in this town, but you don't you've never seen this place before.
Are there other people walking around outside?
I mean, there's other people walking along the main boardwalk street here, and some on the different paths and little side streets going off into the mud. Along the little path that goes to this little hut, there doesn't seem to be anybody.
And nobody, like, none of the other townspeople seem to be, like, acknowledging that there's a path or anything?
And nobody seems to be... I mean, looking around, a couple people glance over at it and frown, but just keep walking.
Okay, you guys see the strange hut, correct?
when he points it out, we look over there. Do we see it as well?
You do. And the three of you, Chomp, Crom, and Cirthus, it strikes you suddenly as oddly familiar. This front of this hut, just of stone, with a thatched roof. The doorway, as you look closer and kind of come to the edge of the boardwalk, you can see the doorway just seems to have some type of tattered blanket as a door.
You said it's made of stone?
Yeah, made of stone.
Okay, that's really weird because everything else in town is made of wood.
I mean, what would and you can't quite, the three of you that have been with the group for a while find it oddly familiar, but you can't quite place why.
I don't know. Did I feel like I recognize this building. Maybe an architect from Singorn got a job here building something. I don't know.
I'll send my owl up to a window, see if he can take a quick peek inside.
Okay. Sending Casilda out, your eyes going kind of white over, seeing through her eyes. She lands in one of the little windows of this building, which are not glassed over. They're just open, small openings that seem to be just letting a little bit of smoke out. Through her senses, you smell incense. And looking in, you see a large sitting figure obscured in smoke and incense and robes, just sitting in front of a single candle.
Okay, I will relay that information.
Oh, sounds like a
Remember,
Is it a male or female figure?
Are you asking Cirthus this?
Yes.
Cirthus, you aren't quite sure. It's hard. They're, like I said, they're in a large robe. They seem larger than most beings you've come across. Although seeing the outline, you're immediately struck by just a memory of a deck of cards.
Yeah, I told you. Sorry.
Yeah.
And a seer in an underground room somewhere in Singorn.
I knew it. Do it.
Well, I guess back to the inn for a good night's sleep.
Wait. What is this? What is do it? What is in?
Zepil, how do you feel about
Gambling.
fate and destiny?
I mean, I don't really think about it ever. I wake up every day and I say, what can I do for this on God? And that's about as much as I think ahead of things.
WWSD. Yeah.
I think most of the people who say that they deal in fate are really hucksters and frauds. Not to say that there are not authentic ones, but I would say, reasonably suspicious of crimes. Do it.
Yeah.
You should totally try this.
Yeah, I think that.
Everything works out fine.
Well, I know from experience that some people feel that destiny and fate are not malleable and should not be messed with. But you sound like the kind of guy that believes in making his own future. So I think we should go down this alley.
Yeah. I'm running in that direction.
Crom is already down there.
Crom just takes off down this little muddy, and there's puddles and it keeps dragging at your feet, but it's what are the rest of you doing?
I'll go with them.
Yeah, we should go down here.
Yeah.
Cirithus, what are you doing?
hanging out with everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as all of you go on this little path that goes kind of through this open area on the left side of the boardwalk, this hut, it does seem out of place, as everything else in town seems to be built out of different types of wood. A couple places have stone pillars and things, but this is a hut entirely made out of stone that doesn't look similar to anything else in town. And as you come closer to it, it looks very much like the underground chamber front that you had previously seen the information broker that you were, you had it described to you, named Tado. And coming up, seeing that same kind of green and bluish tattered blanket with just this flickering, guttering candlelight behind it. Crom opens up, and you see, cross-legged there in the same robe, the vision of Tado, looking still almost like frog-like, but now that you've seen a bullywug in person, it's not so much frog-like anymore, much larger. The head maybe more lizard-like than a frog, but still just kind of shrouded in robes and even sitting down a good 5-6 feet tall. as you come around they gesture for you to sit.
Hey, Potato? Tato.
They just kind of nod at you.
Okay, so we would like, well, I would like to play with your cards, please, today.
They kind of
We
look,
come to the deck of fate.
they look at you for a moment and say, "Well, please to be remembering, it is a dangerous thing. I can read your fortunes otherwise as well, but this is something that cannot be taken back should you draw one.
How did you get here?
I am here. I have never been another place. How did you get here?"
Well, we had a very long walk, and there was this house witch or something too that we saw. But you were not here the last time I was here.
Perhaps I was, and you just did not see.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure I would have seen.
I'm like patting my bag and making sure my jar of mushrooms is still there. Like I didn't accidentally eat those things, did I?
They are still there. It is unopened. In fact, there's a wax seal along the edge that for freshness.
Yes.
And it is unbroken.
Okay, just checking because it's blowing my mind, you guys.
And as you all kind of sit down, and some of you tentatively in the room, which isn't that big and seems to be mostly taken up by this hulking figure in the robe in front of you. The single light source being this large candle in front of them. They say, "Would any of you first like to know your fortunes?"
No.
Yes.
Like our future?
Yeah.
I mean, there is the future, there is the present. The future, though, is mostly always moving.
Mostly always moving, yes.
How many?
Crumb, you crazy. Yeah, I'll take a reading.
All right. Please, to be giving me your hand.
Okay, yeah, I stick my hand out.
And as you stick it out, they take it palm up in their hand, which is a good 3-4 times the size of your hand, with these claws that come off each finger. And there's this kind of slightly sickly green-brown color, a little bit lighter on the palm than on the back. And they gaze for a good minute into your hand, and then suddenly their eyes just flick up and make eye contact with you.
Yeah.
And they say, this is hard to say. There is something in the group of you that makes the future murky. There is a pivot point in fate. Somewhere in the future, one of your group will have to make a decision. And as they look, they release your hand and they continue looking into their own hands, which you see now they've picked up the candle and they're staring into the flame as they're talking. One of your group will have to choose between ultimate power and the death of everything we know. And on the other side, their own death and the salvation of the world. And then as you look, they've held out their hands as they've been putting out this kind of dichotomy. The candle is still floating in the air between those hands. And they look up at you again, Chomp, and say, "But it is not you who will have this choice." And as you say this, the candle drops back into its place, a little bit of wax, of molten wax spilling out onto the ground, but still staying lit.
Well, I think I'd feel more comfortable if I was going to be the one that needed to make that decision. I feel like
An ambulance rides by along the street.
this place is weird.
Trippy.
I'm sorry, I cannot share more with you. Your future is clouded, it seems, until this decision is made.
I think that means you should take a deck of many things card. That will solidify something.
I
I
think
know.
it means that your future is blurry until you give them more money, because this is a fraud.
Or you
Oh.
take it and then look again.
As you say this, Zippel, the eyes, the two bulbous eyes kind of flick over to you, and
Ooh.
I would not ever ask for payment, only for the opportunity. You see, I enjoy this. As their eyes kind of flare as they say enjoy.
Mm.
Oh, that makes me feel kind of dirty. Like wiping my hand off.
I mean, it was a slightly slimy palm that you put your hand into, so.
Yeah, Z-Pill, what do you have to say to that?
I have nothing to say.
Well, you've got nothing to lose, so why don't you give it a shot?
Do it. Do it.
Because I have no interest in this.
I'll pull a card for him.
Well, they offer other services or other. I don't know if it's a service. They can do other stuff.
Just you watch me do it, and then you decide.
Are you going to get your
I wouldn't do
fortune
it.
read, or
No.
you just want to?
Card.
Ram, I also watched you jump into a puddle of water and come out with one arm. So excuse me if I do not feel like you are the example to lead at all times.
Okay, but
One
how
one
did it
arm
work out?
and
It
this
worked,
sword. Yeah.
And yeah, everything's fine. No problem. Okay, I would like to take a card.
Okay.
I was too scared last time.
You were too scared last time. So this time, you will be taking a card.
How many?
There is only one card to be taken at a time here, by each one.
Ah, yes.
But you will
Okay,
be taking a
Z-Pill,
card.
stand back, Z-Pill, but watch this.
Okay.
While this card is being shuffled, could I do like a religion check to see if I can like suss out anything about this individual?
A religion check?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm also gonna activate my Eldritch Sight so I can see what else is magic.
What does Eldritch Sight exactly do?
Detect magic at will.
Okay. So first, Zippel, what did you say you were going to do?
I just want to. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Religion check.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking back into your knowledge, which is admittedly somewhat limited, make a roll for that.
18 total.
18. You've heard of decks of cards like they seem to be hinting at here. Ones that can supposedly change your fate or things like that. As for the individual, you've never heard of anything like this. Cirthus, as you invoke your Eldritch Sight, the sign of your patron suddenly flaring just gently in your eyes and them kind of blackening over. This individual and the deck of cards it seems to be now holding in its left hand are wreathed in this aura of magic. Some of it seems familiar. A lot of it you can't even place in the school of magic it might be in. It's almost parts of it, especially the deck itself, are almost blinding in their strength. And in fact, the whole hut around you seems to be wreathed in some type of magic. Yeah. But
Okay.
Crom, you were going to pull a card?
Yes.
Okay. So because we're not in the same room, you're gonna have to trust me. I just shuffled these.
Okay.
So pulling a card, you pull it out, and this is what you see.
Ah! It's backwards. Rogue?
Rogue.
Is it rogue? Is it backwards to you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought it was a dude with the bagpipe.
It could have been. I mean, it could be
The demon bagpipe.
the demon bagpipe. And then just as quickly he snatches it out of your hand and seems to place it back in the deck. Well, it seems that somebody that you come to trust may not be that trustworthy.
I draw my sword on Z-Kill.
What's that?
I draw my sword at Z-Kill.
You draw your sword at Z-Pill?
Yeah.
What do you say?
I said, what are you doing?
Kram, what are you doing? This shadowy person that you've seen once pulls a piece of paper and all of a sudden you're going to run me through?
No. Maybe.
I will remember that the next time you require healing.
Well, you're always touching my arm. It's
Everybody chill out.
weird. Okay, so I put it back away. I just got a little jumpy. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'm listening, sir.
Be careful about who you trust, who you think is trustworthy. They may not be. And as he says that last word, be, he starts to laugh. And the laughter just gets louder and louder, and then suddenly stops. And he says, also looking at each one of you in the eyes, just in succession, very quickly. Power is not everything that you think you want. And he smiles, and the entire room seems to warp suddenly. This mist seemed to come out of nowhere, and as it just goes faster and faster around you, all of you, the four of you seeming to... Four of you seeming to just be sitting there, the rest of him and everything else just swirling around and around until suddenly
No.
you're sitting on the wet ground in the mist, just on the edge of town.
Son of a bitch.
Well, on the outside of town.
Well, in the same place you were in town, but just
Yeah.
there's no more building. You're just kind of in a clearing on the edge of town.
I wanted somebody else to ruin their life.
Well, that's.
I'm joking.
Oh,
Kronk can joke.
Kram needs to explain why they were so quick to draw their sword.
Oh, you heard the guy.
I did not hear you.
Did you hear what he said?
I heard you cannot trust somebody, and then you drew
Yeah.
your sword and pointed at me.
Yep. That means I trust you, buddy.
Okay, from where I was standing, it looked like, oh, let me find the lizard who has just joined the party, and I will run him through because that is obviously the least trustworthy of people.
Well, we
Well-
are about to embark on this with another stranger that nobody knows.
Yeah, Harper.
That is true. It was a big drop from 400 to 150.
Yeah, pretty eager to guide us.
I am not saying that that is completely it. And the prankster seems to be. It could just be something to stir sedition, but not that we should not be unaware.
Okay.
Never-ending paranoia is the way I go.
I mean, if we think we need someone to keep a close eye on Harper, I volunteer. I'll keep my eye on her.
Surface, what was that symbol you drew in there?
What symbol?
Didn't you make some kind of hand gesture to do Eldritch Sight?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. Never mind.
All right. So left kind of sitting in the damp ground and dead grass in the little clearing here in town. What would you like to do now?
I guess we
Take some mushrooms to go to bed.
we may need more rest than that
Okay.
would allow.
Okay.
You should wait till we're deep in the swamp and then take it.
Oh, cool.
Yes. That is the way to go.
Have you guys ever seen a field in England?
Hmm?
Have you
What?
guys ever seen a field in England?
No.
It's this like psych horror movie that takes place in the English Civil War, but basically like they are looking for some like philosopher's stone in the English Civil War, and they like force feed a bunch of people like mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Is it a recent movie?
Yeah, I think it's like 16.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down.
This sounds
Cool.
good.
But you talking about doing mushrooms out in the swamp just made me think of that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, walking back down the little path to the boardwalk, it's not too far. But you're a little, of course, unsettled by what just happened. The hut and entity just having disappeared around you. What would you like to do at this point? It's getting to be early evening, as you've been out shopping a bit and walking around a bit. And you're going to be leaving in the morning.
I do want to I need to speak to Brog a little bit.
I think so too.
Okay.
Because
What?
I don't listen.
Oh, great. We've made Crom paranoid. We got a paranoid Goliath.
I don't know if I made Crom paranoid or the fact that a trickster appeared in the swamp and said, "Oh, you cannot trust anybody," has made Crom paranoid.
I mean, technically, it's only one person you can't trust.
Yeah, and might not be as I don't know.
Can I ask you what you think Brog might have to gain? And who he would betray us to?
Maybe
Maybe he works for the dragon.
Employed.
Sure, he works for the dragon.
Well, you just be careful.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so, walking back to the Kraken, the trading post in the northern part of town, coming back through the room once again into the hazy interior. Still lots of people here, lots of things going on. But of course, you find Brog at the same table near the back. Walking up, he once again doesn't even see you coming up. He just seems to have several sheaves of paper out on the table and seems to be going between them and writing notes on some of them, and then in a small ledger to the side, writing some numbers down. But Zippel, you were the one looking for him, so.
Brag, I have need of your skill set.
Indeed. Good to see you again so soon. Did you make any deals with gosh, my brain's not working. Harper, that's the word.
Possibly. I think we're still waiting to see about that.
All right. Well, what can I do for you in the meantime?
I need to make the metal child my heir. You will make it legal.
Well, I am a notary, an advocate, many other certifications, so I can do this. Your heir, and what will you be leaving to the, glancing over at your shoulder at the metal child, to this one?
All of my earthly possessions.
All of your earthly. He gets out a piece of blank parchment and dips his quill into a little inkwell that he has on this little writing desk. He has that on the table, and all of your earthly possession. And he starts kind of writing this out. And
Pamphlets, mostly.
So the pamphlets, all right.
Yeah, probably pamphlets. Lots of pamphlets.
My armor, the holy symbol of the sun god. These marigold seeds. I have a crossbow and my holy robes and my mask and my dragon shield. And I have some gold.
All right then. This and that. Please don't be upset in me asking this, but what is exactly the legal what is the legal status of the personhood of this metal child?
Foundling.
They are so you found them, but and looking kind of awkwardly between all of you, but they seem to be a machine. Yes,
It has a soul.
it has
The
a
metal
soul.
child has a soul. We put one in there.
You put one in there. Well, I don't have any way to check this, I suppose. Kind of rubbing his hand over his forehead. I'll have to take your word for it. I have several witnesses here. Will you be willing to sign this document?
To sign what is essentially Ziphil's will.
Yes, as a witness.
Are you?
I mean, I'm a little concerned. Ziphil, are you,
Do you have a death wish?
or are you having any suicidal thoughts, or like, are you planning on not coming back?
I am very aware of the reputation of Isar. Also, as father has been thrust upon me, it behooves me to make sure that the metal child is taken care of if I am not there to take care of. And since we are in Brandberg and I am familiar with the services of Brag, I choose to take advantage of this.
And
How do you
Brog,
spell Brog?
Brogg.
B-R-O-G?
Okay.
Yes, Brog.
Um,
The frog.
Brog the frog.
So yeah, Brog, why don't you tell us what is the legal status of personhood of automatons in this land?
Well, in this land, there isn't exactly a lot of law. There's the magistrate, and that's about it. But there is generally accepted international law, if you will, about things like this. Although not all nations, I suppose, have the same rules. For example, the Iron Authority would not agree on the ownership of persons, as they allow that, but the Tal'Dorei Republic does not. Neither does Singorn. We generally do not allow that here in the Dream Seep either, but that's a whole nother thing. This seems to be some type of construct, and I've heard about such things being considered persons before, but I'm not exactly sure what to do. Let me see. There was the case of Elwen versus Evans that held that a Warforge should be considered a person. Does this show signs of personality?
Yes.
All right. And you said
I don't know, like,
He smiles. He knows how to write. He's very agreeable.
yeah, because I mean, there are non-construct entities that have little to no personality.
Well, I would say, for the sake of this, I mean, I've heard of people leaving everything to their dog, so I don't imagine that this is, at the worst, far off from that. All right, and he starts writing once again, signs at the bottom, and then puts it over to at least two of you to sign, and then
Yeah, we'll say.
yeah, and then over to Zippel to sign.
Zippo will sign.
And then brings it back to himself. Takes out a large ink pad and stamps it with a very official-looking seal. Blows on it for a second, waits, kind of waves it around, folds it up, and then with a piece of molten wax and another stamp, seals the outside of it and hands it to Zippel.
Thank you, Brog.
You're welcome.
He's a real boy.
I mean, as far as the limited law here in Braunbog is concerned, yes. All right. So, is there anything anybody else wanted to do before a long rest and the start of your journey into the swamp?
I'm gonna spend some time before I fall asleep teaching the metal child some Draconic.
Okay. Just a few hours. How many hours do you want to spend on that?
1 or 2.
Okay. I'll put you down for 2. Okay, you spend a few hours before just not being able to not yawn anymore. You finally sleep. The metal child kind of sits in the corner of the room, just kind of looking around. Doesn't seem to need sleep. But is there anything else anybody else wanted to do in the meantime?
So this trading post has like a bar.
Oh yeah, there's the large common room and bar, and then there's also on the first level, kind of a U-shaped, a wide but short U-shaped hallway that goes around in back of the bar. where there's several stalls and things where people are trading different perishable goods like food and different types of imported alcohols, as well as cloths, leathers, simple weapons and tools, things like that.
Mhm.
And you have seen most of Bronbog as a town now, so you would know where most things are if there is anything you're looking for.
I really can't think of anything
All right.
myself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I was just making sure.
From?
Yeah, but what would that do?
I don't know. It'd just be funny.
Um, well, just for fun, before we, as we sit around and maybe get another drink, I want to use my Ring of the Grammarian,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
and
We haven't.
I'm going to cast Mage Band,
Okay.
and my goal is to summon a like a musical quartet of mages for entertainment in the bar.
Okay. As you kind of concentrate on the ring as well as the spell that you're trying to kind of change, along one end of this place, there is a low stage that's kind of set up. It's not very big, maybe about 7 feet across. Currently, there's nobody up on it, as it doesn't seem that this is an entertainment night. But as you do concentrate and release the spell, suddenly this blue glowing trio of figures shows up. One with a little like mandolin, one with a little kind of oh gosh, what's it called? I can't remember. It's like it's one of those Celtic drums, and another with another small kind of flute. Show up in this kind of translucent blowing glue on this little stage and begin playing. Everybody else kind of stops and looks as they do. As this isn't something that's normal here. But, you know, that's okay. It works. They all kind of get used to it, and even though there are a few side-eye glances as time goes on, they continue to. But they're playing some lively tunes, and you're able. There is a mage band going up on the stage.
Yes.
It
Aha.
works.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that this ring does what it says on the label.
It's always good. It wasn't from Wish.com.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, yeah. After a set or two of the band, I guess I head up to the room for a long rest.
Okay. All right. The rest of you are also heading up, I'm guessing? Just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So having finished the business of the day, you all bed down in the trio of rooms you had rented. Roland is already out, although occasionally gets up and heads to the water closet downstairs, as it were. Seems to have gotten some type of food poisoning from maybe some bad provisions or something you had been carrying with you. You're not sure if he's going to be able to go with you tomorrow. But you get your long rest. You, Zippo, are able to teach a little bit of Draconic to the metal child. And waking up in the morning, you all find yourself in the kind of early morning haze, looking out the window, mist covering everything. That same rain, constant coming down just a little bit, seems to have increased a little bit overnight, as it's actually now really raining. But it is morning, and heading downstairs, you find Harper already at the bar with just, it looks like some type of roast potato in front of her, just kind of carving it up with a knife and eating. Still reading that book most of the way through it. And yeah, coming down the stairs, the four of you, Roland, having stayed up in the room again, you are greeted with a hearty "Good morning to you. It's nice to see you. Are you ready to go?"
Ready to get?
Aye?
Or,
What's up?
What are you doing?
sorry, my dog is being listening. She's thinks I'm asking her if she wants to GO.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, dog.
yeah,
Let's do it.
All right.
so, okay, yeah, so I'm going to ask her, how she feels about our trip, or, you know, about this outing, like if she, like feeling good about it, you know, positive. And I want to do an insight check just to try to determine, like, if she's planning something
Yeah.
nefarious.
Okay.
Or, you know, like, how do you think the trip's going to go? You feeling good about our prospects?
Okay. Well, let's see here. Go ahead and roll your insight check. But as you ask, she says, yes, I'm thinking it's going to be a nice time out there. The weather's not too bad, and well, we've had all this. We've had some bad weather lately, so I'm optimistic. What'd you get for your insight check?
20.
20. I mean, you get the sense that she's glad to be doing something. You don't get the sense, though, that she's especially optimistic about the weather. She seems just to be making conversation, like she doesn't believe what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nothing
Cool.
nefarious. You don't pick up anything like that. All right. Heading out of town with Harper as your guide, you're able to make fairly good time. Coming into the swamp, even with Zipple, who knows this place fairly well, it had been some hard going. You had come across areas of just quicksand type material, as well as places where you couldn't find any dry land to walk across, and so you were getting wet and miserable. With Harper, she seems to be able to find these paths that you would not have been able to find otherwise. And this first day goes really, really well. Would anybody like to keep just an eye out, just to see what's happening?
I will.
All right, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perception or survival?
Well, you're not necessarily guiding, so I'm going to have you do a perception
Okay.
check.
20.
Okay. Over the first day, I mean, as a cleric, you're able to detect things like, you know, things that might be undead and stuff like that around you. Over the course of the day, you definitely, it seems like the forest, just like you remember, is no irony intended, alive with undead around you. Whether that be just small creatures, like even down to the mice, like you You notice small mice running around sometimes, and then an undead mice kind of running behind them, like half rotten but still moving. Even some of the insects, like a dragonfly, comes in front of you at one point, and one of its wings is like entirely broken, and there's like parts of it that are oozing out, but it still seems fine as it's just flying around. This place is both alive and dead all at the same time. It's strange. You grew up here, and it's home, but at the same time, with the things you've learned about life and the divine and things, it strikes you as just off and wrong, as it is in some ways always has. You are aware at some point that you seem to notice shadowy kind of figures a ways off in the trees, kind of shambling. But none of them ever come close to you during this day.
We are being followed.
And Harper says, I noticed that it's going to be a tough one out here. I mean, it always is. You know, you've lived here before, but the rest of you might not. It can be dangerous. So just keep an eye out. Over the course of the day, she tries to engage several of you in conversation. Going up to Chomp, especially since you're also gnome and saying, in Gnomish, she says, "Have you heard anything about? I heard there's a war going on out in Taldore. Have you heard anything about it?"
Yeah, we were there for a while.
And
It was pretty tense. Let's see, what do we know about it?
you had been told last time you were in Singorn that no word had recently come out of Taldore.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no
so
word.
that was a while back when we were there.
That's true.
But we hadn't been back recently and hadn't really heard.
All right. Well, that's to be expected. We don't get much new news here, as it were, but you know, it's what it is. And she kind of shuts up for a while, just kind of guiding ahead.
As we walk, we see things that look alive, bugs and animals and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But have we seen any dead things that are
Reanimated?
like not reanimated,
Yeah.
like dead things?
Have you seen any?
Yeah, like have we come across any corpses or
Okay.
skeletons or anything?
Let me see. Yeah, so over the course of the day, you don't see a whole lot. At one point, a little ways off this kind of short trail that she seems to be taking you down at this point, you see what looks like one of those high-wheeled wagons that you had seen. This one with two of the wheels broken down and shattered kind of on the side of it. In the seat of it, there's a figure just slumped over backwards, covered in tattered rags. Not quite... It's a ways off, maybe about 50, 60 feet, so you can't see it very well, but definitely dead. You're not sure if it's totally rotted or not.
Okay.
Like there's things out here, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if everything out here comes back, sort of Pet Cemetery style.
This one doesn't seem to have. But based on some of the things that Zippel might mention to you during the day, you're aware that there's other undead moving things around. All right.
Okay.
You make good time during today. At the end of which, Harper tells you. Oops. Harper lets you know that you probably have about 2 days to where she believes the dragon has been reported to be around. According to her, she's been near the cave before and even seen it from a distance, but has never gone very near it. So you have she seems fairly confident that she's leading you there. At the end of the day, I'm assuming we do a dome and hold up for the night.
Yeah, we set up camp.
Okay.
I don't.
What's up?
I was just gonna say, I don't think would we have taken the metal child with us.
I mean, we can decide that right now. Would you like to have?
What do you guys think?
I had assumed we did. I mean, we take him everywhere
I
else.
mean, can he hit things? Is he going to rust?
I mean, you don't know.
Well, I was mainly asking metal dad,
Okay. Metal Dad, what do you say?
metal child dad.
Personally, I don't know what he would bring, but I also leaving him in a room for a couple days that we might not return to seems strange. So I guess he's with us.
All right.
We could turn him off while we're gone.
Bring him. It'll be fun.
And by turn him off, I mean remove his soul.
Fun.
So yeah, if the dome's up, then I'll try to clean him off as much as I can.
Okay. I mean, over the
And
course
then,
of the day, he's gotten pretty muddy, so.
Yeah.
So it takes me 2 tries to set up the dome because the first time I accidentally cast Liamon's tiny hat.
In which case, a small bowler shows up on the ground.
And then say, oh, wait, I misspelled it.
There you go.
Misspelled?
Yeah.
That's good.
And then Liamon tiny hut, so then it pops up.
All right. As the dome shows up once again, and you make it blend in kind of with the scenery around, from the outside it looks like this brownish, grayish green, molted color. But on the inside it's nice and warm and dry as you can control the weather inside, and you all bed down for the night. Zippel, I'm guessing you are you going to teach a little bit more Draconic tonight, or?
Are we taking watches?
I mean, you don't necessarily need to. Cirthus doesn't sleep. So technically he can at least, keep an eye out. As
Okay,
well as the metal child does not sleep, it seems.
I'll spend a couple hours teaching it Draconic, and then I'll say if something seems bothersome, wake me up. I love you. Good night.
They nod at you. And as you fall off to sleep, they're just sitting cross-legged, upright, with their hands on their knees, kind of looking around. Like you can hear the slight whir of the motors inside, like. In some ways, it's almost comforting to hear, but you drift off. The others of you drifting off. Cirthus, just did you want to keep an eye out as well, or?
Definitely.
Okay. Did you want to use Casilda?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check. For that matter, the metal child has a perception, if I can find it.
It'd be a 27.
27. Okay. Over the course of the night, you see some stuff. At one point, several figures, vaguely humanoid, walk by, and as they come nearer, you see that they're mostly rotted skeletons that have some flesh still left on them, a little bit of clothing, just kind of dragging themselves through. One with, it looks like a broken leg, just kind of hobbling through as they go. It's a pair of them. Later in the night, both you and the metal child are surprised to see this abomination kind of half roll, half move with several different sets of legs under it out of the darkness. It seems to be made of maybe several different bodies of different species that have been kind of joined together in this abhorrent, just unnatural collaboration of undeath. It's good size, bigger than the dome. Doesn't come too near, but a good 20, 30 feet off, you see it just kind of half roll, half push itself through, breaking some small limbs and trees as it goes through. But then silence.
Yeah, I'm not gonna alert anybody unless something like kind of notices us, hangs out.
Like, none of these undead seem to have even noticed. They don't seem to have great... They don't seem to perceive things especially well, as they just seem to be shambling through in a random direction almost. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to know what the automaton's perception was, so I'm just looking. So the automaton's perception, if you want to keep track of this, Tom, is +1. Its passive perception is 11.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just make sure I have it up. In any case, over the course of the night, though, it doesn't have a lot to report to you in the morning, mostly in that it can't speak. Although it is, at this point, able to write down some very simple draconic words, kind of scrawled on paper. It's picking stuff up pretty quickly as you teach it. But throughout the next day, getting going as the dome releases, and it's strange, as the dome releases, much as in Vasselheim or the area around, overnight you would get this outside dome of frost that would kind of fall down on you as the dome dissipated. Here, you get this kind of slight misting of vapor and water that had accumulated on the top, as well as even little bits of lichen and algae and moss growth that kind of drops down onto you. Things seem to grow quickly here, and decay quickly. The cycle of life is almost sped up in some ways. But moving forward in this day, with once again Harper leading, is there anybody who would like to make a perception check to just keep an eye out?
I will.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
$11.
11. Okay. Over the course of the day, you don't see a whole lot. Maybe it's because you spent a little bit of your rest teaching the metal child instead of sleeping, but you're just, a little off. But even with that, around a little bit after midday, Harper suddenly puts one hand up in a fist, halting everyone in back of her, and seems to kind of cock her head as you are all kind of spread out. And could you all tell me what the marching order is right now, actually? Like, who's first behind Harper?
I am.
Okay. So Chomp, and then who?
I'll be next.
Chomp and Crom and
I won't be in the back.
Sirthis is not in the back, and so that
I'll
leaves,
be in the back.
That leaves you. All right. As you all stop, kind of in a spread out line, there isn't a lot of room to walk side by side here. You've come to an area which has a small clearing that's been created by this huge tree that fell. It's, kind kind of rotting and decomposing in the middle. A good amount of moss and different lichens have grown up over it. And as she says stop, and she says, shh, listen. And you start to hear this kind of clattering noise slightly. Sirthis, it's a little bit familiar to you in that it sounds like the skeletons you had heard the night before. And she points over to the right, and you can see these two vaguely humanoid forms come out of the tree line in this small clearing. And then you start to hear a little bit more clattering. And she looks over to the left, and you're on kind of the left side of this clearing, and you can see under the trees next to you two more kind of vaguely humanoid figures step out of the shadows and kind of lurch towards you. Could everybody roll for what's it called? My brain's not working suddenly.
Spaghetti.
Initiative.
Spaghetti. Initiative. Yes, please roll for initiative. I'll be right back.
Did anybody see what he rolled?
No.
Hmm?
Did you roll?
17.
Oh, okay, so wait, what's the numbers?
Tim, we rolled for you. You got like a 3.
I got
Yeah.
3. Oh, man.
Surface has an 11.
Alright, so this has an 11. What did everybody else get?
Zip has a 16.
16. Kron?
I got a 19.
I got 17.
Jump. You got a 19, Kron?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, and rolling. Whew, okay. They do not have great initiative. But as they come up near you, these 4 skeletons, 2 on each side, start kind of closing in around. Let's see what this looks like. There we go.
Ooh.
You're kind of spread out in a line along the side there, but yes, 2 from each side, kind of. Well, yeah, we'll say 2 from each side, kind of coming in around you. Crom, you are up first. There is one that's coming in. It's no more than about 15 feet off your left side.
Okay. I am going to rage
Okay.
and alright, got my cleansed vindicator. Do.
All right. As it's kind of shuffling towards you about 15 feet off. You're going to.
Okay. Yep, go for it. Oh, I forgot. This is like a plus 10. Okay. 17.
17. Okay. I mean that'll hit. I mean you have to move a little bit, like about 10-ish feet to come up to it. So as you run up to it, swing at it. A 17 does hit. Roll for damage.
16 plus 19. Okay, 19.
Okay. All right. Running up to it and just slashing across with the huge chunk of metal that is your sword. It kind of sticks for a second into the rib cage, and as it comes out, a couple of ribs come out with it, you hear this kind of as this red-eyed, these glowing red eyes stare deadly at you. You did a good amount of damage to it. Gonna take another swing?
Yes.
Go for it.
That is 22.
22. Okay. As you take this roll, that hits. Roll for damage.
17 damage.
17 damage. Coming back across, this time kind of spearing through with the mostly blunted end of this thing. You just take out a few more of the ribs and like scrape along the vertebrae as it comes out the back. And as you rip it out, it stumbles a little bit. It's you can see now that it has this own kind of long sword in its hand that it's dragging on the ground behind it. But yeah, you've heard it. For sure.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
What's that?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's it. All right. Next up is Chomp. You hear as Crom charges and starts hacking at one past behind you, kind of near where she is. But there's a second one about 15 feet to your left that's also kind of heading towards you, as well as another one about 25 feet to your right heading towards you and Harper.
Let's see. I will. Do I have like a place to retreat back a little bit? I kind of want to like run back, put some distance between me and like, because I got one on my left and one on my right.
Yeah. So you're kind of pinned a little bit between them.
Okay. I guess I'll turn to the closest one, that one that's like 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast it at like I'm gonna cast it at first level.
Mm-hmm.
And choose damage type against skeletons, right?
They are skeletons. As you see, they have bits of like clothing hanging off, but they're mainly bone.
Okay. I'm gonna choose acid damage
Okay.
as my damage type.
Sounds good. Okay, roll for damage.
Or
Or do you have to roll to hit?
It's an attack roll, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
11 to hit.
11 to hit. 11. Let me see here. 11 does not hit. As you release the energy, it seems to just kind of, as it stumbles forward, its head just kind of bobs to one side, and the energy just goes right past it.
Whoop. Then I guess that's my turn.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
So, coming up then, Zippil, seeing 4 skeletons converging on the group, you in the very back. The nearest one to you is about 15, 20 feet off to your right. What would you like to do?
Zippil holds his hands up and tells the skeleton that he's closest to that you are an abomination. Feel the burn. And, oh god, that was bad. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame
Okay, go for it.
No,
Roll.
you need to make a.
Oh, it's a
dex.
dex saving throw, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's a 12.
that is a fail.
All right. What is the damage?
So, since we're now level 10, it's actually 2d8.
Ooh, fancy.
So it's 8 points of damage.
8 points. All right. As you
8 points of radiant damage, if that means anything.
let me check. No,
Okay.
it is.
Fine.
It does not mean it. I mean, as it goes, as the damage, the radiant damage, kind of hits into it, you see it. It kind of makes this sound like, but it obviously does some damage as some dust and bits of bone fall from it, but
Yes.
nothing special from what you expected.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Cirthus, though you are up. There's one on the other edge, the other side of a log from you that Zipple just hit with a spell. But other than that, there's none especially near you. You're kind of in the center of everything.
Does 14 hit?
Yeah, and which one would you like to attack?
I'm not doing Eldritch Blast. That was my lowest roll. I was just curious if 14 hit.
Oh,
The other one was
Oh, yeah.
22.
Yeah, 14 just misses.
Okay. So
Um,
one of them hits.
All right, and which ones, what did you want to attack?
The one he just hit.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, so one of them hit. The 14 just misses. So roll for damage.
3.
3. Okay. As you hit it with, as you release, and the force damage kind of creates this like shockwave that goes out towards it, and it hits. It seems to stumble back a step. Like it seems to hit harder than you thought it would. Considering what you felt leave your hands.
Interesting.
But yeah, at this point, it is the skeleton's turn. Give me 1 sec.
This fool better not be getting more skeletons out.
Oh, what was that?
What? Nothing.
Oh, okay. So as you watch the skeletons, the two that were on either side of Chomp converge up right next to him. The one that was over across from Cirthus and Zipple comes over right next to Zipple. And first attacking Zip. First strike is a 21 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
And then a 13 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. Let me see. As it strikes across twice on you, I need to find the right die. Hello, die. The first manages to connect, and as it does, you take 10 slashing damage. The second goes wide, as this thing doesn't seem too accurate, but it's just kind of swinging at you. So you take 10 slashing damage. Chomp. Two of them come at you. Harper, just in front of you, seems to be like kind of hiding to the side, and doesn't seem to have taken any action yet. But the first, an 11 to hit.
What? Okay, that's a miss.
25 to hit.
That's a hit.
A 14 to hit.
That is also a hit.
And a 19 to hit.
Sorry, I
And
didn't
that's it.
understand. What up, Google?
Oh, Google. All right, so you take. Let me see. Sorry, I have to do math suddenly. All right, you take 35 slashing damage between these attacks. As the two of them just slashing at you, one dragging its sword behind and then just coming around with it, connecting with the side of your shoulder, and then one slashing across your abdomen. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, I'm regretting not preparing my reaction spells and my mage armor. And yep.
What you gonna do? But that is the end of their turn. Crom, you are up. You see all the other skeletons converging around you, and the one right in front of you. What would you like to do?
Alright, the one right in front of me is the one I've hit a couple times.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to what is that thing called? Reckless attack. No, wait. No. Frenzy.
Frenzy, yes.
So I'm gonna use that as a bonus action to get extra attack. I'm gonna hit it. The one in front of me. So 24.
24, that'll hit.
Okay. I'm gonna use my reroll of my damage. Oh yeah. So 11, 12, 13, 20 damage.
20 damage, okay. As you come across, that was the first hit, right?
Yep.
So 20 damage, coming across, you take the left arm just off this thing. It's still holding its sword in its right, but it's really hurt at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna slap it again.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, fuck. I got a 1.
A 1. Coming across again, you entirely miss, and your sword entirely, just lodges in a small stump on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna take an arm off. Take the one with the weapon in it.
You have like extra attack.
yeah, so I've got one more than, so I will take another swing at it.
Okay, go for it.
15?
15 just hits. That is
Oh.
its AC.
Okay. Can I use that every turn?
What?
Oh, no, once per turn. Okay. So 14 damage.
14 damage. As you come across one more time, having just the frustration of not being able to hit it on the second time, you come through and just across, and you bisect it. And it just falls to the ground, the red glowing light kind of fading suddenly from its eyes. And yeah, it is down. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn? You still have your movement.
Is there one in melee?
There is none in melee range. There's the two that are around Chomp, who's about 15 feet from you.
Okay. No, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. In that case, Chomp, you are up. You are surrounded by two skeletons, both who have been hacking at you.
Yeah. I guess due to my hit points currently, I am going to polymorph.
Ooh.
And I am going to polymorph into. I thought about that, but I don't think it would be a good idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna polymorph into a T-Rex.
Oh,
Because it's fun.
Yup.
All
But
right.
but that'll be
That'll be your action.
yeah, that'll be my action.
Oh,
Right. So as all the rest of you watch, suddenly this diminutive gnome that you travel with is once again just kind of muttering to himself and having slashes around his body. It just suddenly blows up like a balloon into this like large T-Rex, huge even, and just like looking down on the skeletons on either side of it. And that's your turn. So Zipple, you're up.
Just for my own clarification, with Polymorph, does he have the hit point concern that he did previously?
So with Polymorph, he currently has the hit points of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the full hit points. When he
Yeah.
loses the form, he'll go back to his previous hit points.
I'm gonna move up to where he is then.
Up to where he is?
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know. Okay, as you move out, that skeleton next to you is going to take an attack of opportunity on you.
Okay, then I'll stay there.
Okay.
I'm going to do two things. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon over there,
Okay.
and I'm going to attack one of those skeletons, and then I'm going to do a melee attack on the skeleton that I'm near.
Okay. So, first let's do the spiritual weapon attack. Roll for that attack on that skeleton.
That is a 24.
That'll hit.
All right. Cool. So that's 7 damage there.
7 damage. Okay. And then the one next to you.
My mace. Oh, that's a 1.
That is not a hit. As you swing wide again, it's like the weight of the mace, which you haven't used really yet, kind of spins you around, and disorients you a bit. But anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. In that case, Cirthus, you're up.
All right, let's see here. Okay. One hit again. Probably hitting whichever one looks like it's the most damaged.
I mean, it's tough. The one that looks like it's the most damage is the one nearest to you that you and Zipple have been hitting.
3 more points.
3 more points? What are you rolling?
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. Is it 2 blasts that come out, or?
Yeah, 2. I can split them, but I'm trying to take one out, and I keep missing with one.
Okay. So you hit with one then?
Yep.
All right. And you said 3 points?
Fear me.
Once again, as the one Eldritch Blast misses, but the other hits, it seems to knock it back on its heels again with more force than you expected. But it is now the skeleton's turn, and Zipple, the one next to you, is going to take its attacks. One is an 18 to hit,
That hits.
and the other is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
All right, so that takes. So you take 27 slashing damage.
Okay.
The two next to you, Chomp, don't seem at all fazed by the fact that you're a T-Rex now. That's an 11 to hit. Yes, no?
What'd you say? 11 to hit?
Yeah.
I believe that's a miss.
All right, and then a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
and then a 22 to hit,
Yep.
and then another 11 to hit.
Miss.
All right, so altogether you take 22 slashing damage as they're just kind of slashing away at kind of your knees because that's what they're reaching right now.
Unfazed.
Okay. Moving back to the top of the order, Crom, you are up.
Okay, so I have there's two near Chomp.
Yeah, there's 2 by Chomp and then 1 by Zippo.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to, how far is Zippo from me? Or how far is the skeleton that's next to him?
Maybe about 30, 35 feet.
Okay, I have a movement speed of 40, so I should be able to get there, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to that one, take a whack at it. Bonus action. Frenzy.
Okay, go for it. Roll ahead.
24.
That hits.
Okay. 16 damage.
16. Okay. Slashing across, you hit it one more. This one, your first time. Go ahead and roll again.
Oh, I got a nat 20.
Nice. Okay, roll and double your dice.
And there's a thing. Brutal critical.
Yes.
I can roll one additional weapon damage die when determining extra damage for a critical hit with melee attack.
So
So, yeah.
double play.
So-
double and then add another, what is that, a D8 for that? Or D12? I can't remember.
What?
What's the damage die for
What's
it?
the damage die for that?
D6?
6.
D6. So yeah, double your regular damage dice and then add another D6.
How many?
2. I normally do 2.
So you need
5.
Okay, got it. Okay. 2.
should be able to reroll whatever.
Seven, 17. 26.
26. Wow. All right, 26 damage. As you come down with your second strike, it's like, bam! You carve off half the rib cage. As it's still standing, but it's really hurt.
All right. So that was 2. I did 2 attacks.
Yeah. So you're frenzying, right?
Yep.
All right. So go ahead. You can make another attack.
Oh, shit balls. Okay. I got a 2 on that one. So 12. That does not hit.
That does not hit. As you come across this time, it puts up its sword. Suddenly, like its arm just kind of jerks, and the sword comes up and it parries. And its head kind of cracks to the side and looks at you. But yes, Chomp, you are up. A large lizard.
Okay, I guess I got those 2 by me, right?
Yeah, and you get 2 attacks as a T-Rex, a bite and a tail, right?
Yeah, a bite and a tail, but they have to be against separate targets.
Well,
Which-
luckily you got 2.
All right. So I guess just turning to, whichever one of them, I'm going to bite, and that's a 22 to hit.
That will hit, and that'll be the one on your right, we'll say, because that's closest. Yeah.
I need. Let's see.
What you need?
Do you have a couple of D12s?
Ooh, big time. What is going on over there today?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's lots of sirens.
No, it's all good.
Okay, that's fair.
Mhm.
There's a lot in my head.
13,
Dang.
24,
Nice.
Holy crap.
36.
Oh my gosh.
43 piercing damage.
Holy shit.
Okay. That one's gone. 43, you said?
Yeah.
As you chomp down, no pun intended, you remove a good part of the entire right side of its body, and just like tearing it off. It just flies across the clearing. It's still alive, but it's basically kind of slumped to one side.
So if it is, that means it's also grappled.
Okay, so you have it in your mouth.
Yes.
Okay, so as you're just like tearing it like back and forth like a dog with a toy, it's in your mouth at the moment. What about you? Gonna make a tail attack at the other one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
That is a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Oh, snap.
Do you have a D8?
Yes.
And Zipple, you're gonna be up next.
And that's 19 bludgeoning damage.
19 bludgeoning. Okay.
Why are you not always a T-Rex?
Seriously, you should just walk around as a T-Rex.
Just do that Animorph thing where you're still like you on the inside.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how you know he works in the children's section at the library. Animorphs. As your tail comes across and sweeps into the other one, much like when Cirthus hit with his Eldritch Blast on the other skeleton, it seems to do more damage than you expected. Like several pieces of bone shatter off, and it seems pretty hurt too now, even though that's the first time that one's been hit.
Yeah. Seems like
Cool.
bludgeoning is the same.
Okay, Zipple, you are up.
All right. So I'm gonna do my spiritual weapon into the one that he just tail whipped because I'm not completely sure what's going on with the one in his mouth.
Okay, go for it.
That is that's a 12.
That does not hit. As you move the spiritual weapon around the T-Rex, you can't really see it from this angle, and so you're kind of striking blindly, and you miss it.
And I'm going to try to hit the one in front of me with my mace.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it.
That is a 20.
That will hit.
So I was looking at the whatchamacallit thing, D&D Beyond, and it had this. Let me just get it here. It's called Divine Strike. At level 8, we can infuse divine energy. So I'll get a 1d6 plus an extra 1d8 radiant.
Okay.
The 1d6 plus 1 is bludgeoning, though. So that's 6 bludgeoning. And 7 radiant.
Okay. As your mace lights up with this bright, like almost like sunlight, that seems to shine around, and you haul back and hit, it connects with the side of the skull and just takes it off. It seems like as it hits, it almost like vaporizes part of it as it goes through. Only part of the actual skull lying on the ground afterwards. And then the skeleton itself stands there for a second, and then in a clatter of bones, it seems to come apart and just fall into a pile.
The head is the weak point.
There you go. Is very dead. It's dead again. Good movie. Anyway, And yeah, that's your turn, I guess. Or did you want to take any movement?
I'm completely happy where I am.
Okay. Cirthus, you are up. The one that had been over here bothering you is dead. The T-Rex has one on its far side as well as one in its mouth right now.
Am I able to hit the one on the far side?
I'd say between the under the belly of the T-Rex, you can see the skeleton there. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I hit.
Okay. Yeah. Was it over 15?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that hits.
Okay. I get to hit twice. Let's see how much damage I do. $11.
11. All right. That's the one on the far side. Ooh, these guys are getting beat up. All right. As that's all together, or that's just the first one?
That's all I have.
Okay, I'm just making sure. As you release two blasts of force energy, once again, they kind of curve a little bit under the log that's between you and the T-Rex, and under the T-Rex itself, and into the belly of this thing, of the skeleton, up into the rib cage. Let me do my maths real quick. All right, and as it does, the rib cage seems to just explode outward. Parts of the rib staying on, parts just flying off. It's barely standing at this point. And with that, Crom, no, it's the skeleton's turn. They're gonna take their attacks at you, Chomp. You seem to be a problem for them. That doesn't hit. That doesn't hit. So the one in your mouth just can't seem to swing right, and just is trying for your eyes, but just can't hit you.
Okay.
The one to your side rolls an 18 and a 15.
Both of those hit.
Okay. You take 28 points of slashing damage as the one to your side carves in, is trying to just carve like this into your thigh of your T-Rex self. It's definitely annoying, and it hurts. But Crom, you are up.
Okay, so I'm pretty far from the skeleton next to the T-Rex, right?
I mean, let me see here, because you have it's a little bit of rough terrain in between you and them, having to go over the logs. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you could just make it to the front of the T-Rex where it has it in its mouth.
The one in its mouth.
Yeah, you could just make it to there where it's kind of bent down and it has it in its mouth, shaking it over.
Okay, could I do my firebolt with the gut puncher to the other one?
Oh yeah. What's the range on that? It's definitely in range. Well, it's a fireball spell, so that should be within range. Yeah. Let me make sure.
Where are you casting fireball on something? It'll hit me, but that's fine.
Wait, what?
Where do you shoot?
Firebolt.
Bolt. I thought you said fireball.
No,
I was like,
it's-
no.
No, firebolt. Yeah. It's not quite. The arm isn't quite that overpowered. So yes. So yeah. Make a ranged. Well, it's a ranged spell attack. I can't remember how I did this. Let me find this. Nope, that's not it. There it is. All right. Make an attack roll and add your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency.
Okay.
Modifier?
Could I,
It's +2. And proficiency is +1.
is there a way I could use my reckless attack with that?
I would
I don't know.
say, I mean, it's an attack. So, I mean, it's a special ability attack, but it's an attack action. So, yeah, you could.
Reckless attack. Say melee?
It's. Oh wait.
Yeah,
This is with a weapon.
yeah. So that's what it would not allow you to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind then. But I'm still gonna do that, and so. Okay, that's a 15, and then I add.
Wait, the attack roll? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So it's +4.
Right. So your attack roll is 19?
19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage. It's 1d10.
2d10.
2d10. That's right, because you're at above 5th level. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you, you're gonna kill this thing. It has
Okay.
2 hit points left.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, 7.
Okay. As Crom stretches out her left arm and the little like cannon pops up from it, you hear this whining, whirring sound, and she almost like releasing like a rocket. She kind of jerks back a little bit as this bolt of fire flashes out under your legs, Chomp, and hits the one on your far side, and it just explodes into pieces everywhere. And yeah, that's
Yay!
good. It's very. And then there's just the one in your mouth, and it is Chomp's turn. So go ahead.
Okay. So that's the only skeleton left?
Yeah, there's 3 that have gone down. There's 1 left. It's in your mouth.
Okay. So let's see. It says that it is grappled and restrained.
Yes.
So that will give me
That should give you advantage. Yes.
Advantage on a bite. All right, that's a 20 to hit.
Think you got it.
I think you got it.
Kill it.
Uh, 30 piercing damage.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh! You only needed 12. As you once again, it's in your mouth, and you just concentrate for a second, and as your head stops, your muscles in the jaw just like tense up suddenly, and you clamp down, and the bones just go, poof, and it's gone.
Crunchy.
It's very, very gone. And yeah, as the dust kind of settles from this, you all take a deep breath, and as you do, Harper comes over and kind of inspects one of the small piles of bones near you, Chomp, as she kind of looks up at your T-Rex form and says, "Well, that was interesting." And as she kicks the pile of bones, something seems to come out of it, and you just hear this wail as this kind of translucent cloud something comes out of it,
What the hell?
just sending a shiver down all your spines. And that's where we're going to leave this week.
Yay! That's weird.
That is not usual.
Skeletons were a joke.
All right.
Very interesting.
Cool. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
It was a good time.
Yes.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, what's coming up in 2 weeks? I feel like that's something.
Christmas.
Well, that's this next week. 2
No.
weeks. 2 weeks is the 3rd of January. Is everybody good for that?
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
Should be.
Sean, what about you?
Sorry, I had my stuff muted. Yeah, good to go.
That's all right. All right. Awesome. I think that should work. I'll talk to Margaret, see how she's feeling. Hopefully in 2 weeks she should be good to go.
Hope so.
Yeah, I know it sucks with that fibromyalgia stuff. Just hurting and not being able to really help it. That sucks. But yeah. Otherwise, if anybody has any questions or anything, let me know. Or if you have any ideas, or I've been trying to incorporate some backstory stuff in lately, and it's fun. But I know we don't all have like huge backstories, so
I'm mysterious like
you're
that.
mysterious. All right.
I don't even backstory.
So mysterious.
Mysterious.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right, I'll see you Monday, man.
All right.
Good game.
I will see you.
Going all again.
Hey guys.
Bye.
See ya.